Looking at this example, we're going to treat it like an equation. We're going to draw our line through the inequality symbol. Then we're going to look to isolate the variable. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides, making sure to be neat and organized the whole time. These cancel out, and then we have x left on the left, bring down our symbol, and 5 and a -3 combine to make a +2. So our result is x has to be less than 2. We draw our number line, we plot our value right in the middle, value of 2. Then we need to choose what symbol we're going to use. So we use an open circle if it is just less than or greater than, or a closed if it's less than or equal to. So we're going to put an open circle, and our arrow is going to go less than or to the left on our number line. Now let's look at example 2. This time we have a less than or equal to. Again, we draw our line right down the middle, keeping our two sides separate. We're going to look to isolate the variable. So we're going to do the inverse operation, or subtract 14 from both sides. Again, trying to remain completely organized. Our +14 and our -14 cancel out, and we're left with x as a value on the right side. Bring down our less than or equal to, and 13 subtract 14 gets us a -1 value. We go to draw our number line, but our order is a little different than from before. So we need to make sure that we have our x value on the left. So -1 is less than or equal to x is the same as the complete swap, or the left or right side switching. However, you need to make sure that the symbol switches as well. So whatever side it's facing originally needs to face in the second. So now x is greater than or equal to -1. Again, we need to choose what symbol matches. Because it's greater than or equal to, we need to make sure that we use a closed circle. So above our -1 that we've plotted on our number line, we're going to put a closed circle. And because x is greater than or equal to -1, our arrow is going to go to the right on our number line. Now let's look at a real-world problem. A person can be no taller than 6.25 feet to become an astronaut pilot for NASA. Your friend is 5 feet 9 inches tall. Write and solve an inequality that represents how much your friend can grow and still meet the requirement. Well, as usual, our first thing is we need to understand the problem. What's a great strategy to use is to use words in order to understand it. So after I read the problem, I know that I have to take the current height of my friend. So I write that down. I know I'm then going to add that to the amount my friend can grow. So that we know is in relationship to that. We know our current height added with the amount my friend can grow can only be, so if we look back in our work, it has to be no more than a certain amount. So they tell us it can be no more than the 6.25 feet, or the height that they gave as a regulation, or a height limit. So our next step is to substitute in for the information that we have in our application. So we're going to go through and substitute in for all our words, including the purple text, in which we're going to substitute in an inequality symbol. So currently, we converted our 5 feet 9 inches into a decimal that we can work with. Adding, we don't know the amount we can grow, so height is less than or equal to 6.25. Our last step is to solve our inequality. Looking to isolate the variable, we're going to subtract that current height from the left side, or our 5.75. Then we're going to subtract it from the right. On our left side, the two values cancel out, only leaving us with h is less than or equal to Now, if you can't do this mentally, then you go to the side and you do your calculations out, making sure to be organized and really making sure we're not losing a decimal or rewriting a problem incorrectly. Once we subtract, we know we're left with 0.5 or 1/2 of a foot. So we know that your friend can grow no more than 1/2 a foot in order to meet that requirement.